Welcome to our channel, Mind Science. Today we're going to learn something about narcissists, a topic that has been debated quite a few times lately. You've probably heard that word. A lot. It's tossed around to describe everyone from a selfie-obsessed influencer to a boss who, let's just say, really enjoys their own presentations. But here's the thing. From a psychological standpoint, what are we really talking about? Is it just healthy self-esteem? Or is it something much, much deeper, and perhaps a bit darker? Look, we all need a solid dose of self-confidence to navigate the world, but narcissism isn't just confidence. The psychological definition is an inflated, grandiose self-image, a deeply distorted lens of self-perception where the person believes they are fundamentally smarter, better-looking, and more important than everyone else. And of course, that they deserve special treatment because of it. It's a story as old as time, literally. The ancient Greeks had a myth for this, a guy named Narcissus. He was, by all accounts, incredibly handsome, and he knew it. After being pretty cruel to a nymph named Echo, remember that name? It's a great metaphor for those who lose their own voice in a relationship with a narcissist. He found himself by a river. He saw his own reflection and, well, he fell completely in love. He was so mesmerized by his own image that he couldn't leave, and eventually he drowned. A flower, the narcissus, supposedly marks the spot. It's a dramatic story, right? But it perfectly captures that core idea. Self-involvement so intense, it can be destructive. Now, psychology gets a bit more specific than mythology. When we talk about narcissism as a personality trait, it's not one size fits all. Psychologists generally see two main flavors. First, you have the one everyone thinks of, grandiose narcissism. This is the stereotype. They are extroverted, dominant, and crave the spotlight. They might be incredibly charming at first. This is often called the love bombing phase, where they shower you with attention and affection to win you over. They pursue power not to help people, but for the status and attention that comes with it. But then, there's the flip side. It's called vulnerable narcissism. These individuals are much quieter, maybe even seeming reserved or shy. But underneath, that same strong sense of entitlement is brewing. They are easily threatened, quick to feel slighted, and often see themselves as the victim. The grandiose narcissist shouts, "Look at me!" While the vulnerable narcissist quietly seethes, "Why aren't you looking at me?" In both cases, a core component is a profound and often shocking lack of empathy for the experiences and feelings of others. Look, having some of these traits doesn't make you a bad person. We all have moments of selfishness. But when these behaviors become rigid, pervasive, and start to destroy relationships, careers, and lives, that's when we, as clinicians, start to look at a true clinical diagnosis: narcissistic personality disorder, or NPD. This is the extreme end of the spectrum. The DSM-5, the big diagnostic manual we use, lays out specific criteria. We're talking about a persistent pattern of grandiosity, a constant need for admiration, and a total, baked-in inability to empathize with others. This isn't just being stuck up. This is a serious disorder that affects about 1 to 2% of the population, more commonly men, and it's a diagnosis reserved for adults. Why? Because let's be honest, most teenagers are pretty self-centered. That's just a normal, if not annoying, part of growing up. The real dark side of narcissism is that the person with it often feels pretty good, at least on the surface. It's everyone around them who suffers. They tend to be selfish partners, prone to dishonesty or infidelity. As leaders, they might make incredibly risky or unethical decisions, all to feed that ego. And when that rosy, inflated view of themselves gets challenged, they don't react with curiosity. They react with aggression, resentment, or what's often called narcissistic rage. They might engage in gaslighting, a manipulation tactic designed to make you question your own reality, just to protect their fragile self-image. So what creates this? Where does it come from? Well, like most things in psychology, it's a messy cocktail of nature and nurture. Twin studies show a strong genetic component, though we haven't found a single narcissism gene. But the environment, that plays a huge role. You can foster the grandiose type with parents who put their child on an unrealistic pedestal, treating them like they can do no wrong. But you can also foster the vulnerable type with parents who were cold, controlling, and only offered approval when the child performed perfectly. It's a complex puzzle. And of course, I know what you're thinking. What about social media? Is Instagram the new river's reflection? It's true that narcissism as a trait has been rising in individualistic cultures like the US since the 1970s. But here's the professional consensus. There is no clear evidence that social media causes narcissism. Rather, it's the perfect playground for it. It gives a narcissist a 24/7, high-powered tool to seek the attention, validation, and status they crave. So here's the big question. Can a narcissist change? Can they get better? Yes, absolutely. But it's hard, really hard. Anything that promotes honest self-reflection and a genuine attempt to care for others can help. Psychotherapy is a key tool. Practicing compassion, actively thinking about another person's point of view, can slowly begin to rewire those pathways. The biggest hurdle? For someone with NPD, sticking with self-betterment is the ultimate challenge. Why? Because the very first step is admitting you're not perfect. And for a true narcissist, self-reflection from an unflattering angle is the hardest, most painful thing in the world to do. Do you find this interesting? Hope you do. Just hit subscribe and the bell to keep updated to our next videos.